So hi everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the Indian passenger vehicle market. Very specifically, we are just going to look at one aspect, which is one company having more than 50% market share for past several years. When I'm saying past several years, we need to look at from a point in time wherein there was fair amount of competition and not one or two or three players, as it was still mid 90s when Indian passenger vehicle market, the car market had only few players. So, and we are just going to look at what I have been speaking to people and trying to find out, and I keep on hearing about one aspect of it, which stands out as a major factor. So I'm going to highlight on that factor, and that is customer service. So what we keep on hearing is the Indian passenger car market has several players. I mean, there is a long list of both local and global names who have got into the market because the market size itself has been growing. India sells around anywhere between 33 lakh to 35 lakh. I'm talking in July 2021 as of now. So we have figures which is coming in till 2018-19. Some of the estimated figures of 2020 is out. And the passenger car market sells around 33 lakh, 34 lakh, 35 lakh total units in one calendar year. 35 lakhs means 1.3 million cars. And we see that one company, that is Maruti Suzuki, have consistently have a market share of more than 50%. And it seems, I won't say it seems, rather it's a very well thought out process from the management and the market, the actual end consumers, the mechanics at the garage, the people who fix when your parts in your car goes wrong and you take to the mechanic. Everybody seems to have one unique factor that they talk about is the customer service of Maruti Suzuki in India. The reason I brought up Maruti and the reason for this 50% and more market share, why this is like something to look at and strongly understand what they have done. Maruti got into India in mid 80s. Mid 80s had only two companies in India. That was Fiat, which was making Padmini in Maharashtra, and you had Ambassador from the House of Builders, Hindustan Motors, in the outskirts of Calcutta, Uttarpara area, manufacturing it. So those were primarily the two major passenger car companies. So that's why I said that at the beginning of the video, that we need to look at in the last 10-15 years is where more competition has come in. So Maruti got into that period in mid 80s, late 80s. And throughout 90s, what they found out is, or rather, this is what our understanding is, Maruti understood that there is a major customer service gap, or being a Japanese company, it just found it very normal that post-sale service and customer service, this concept till date is primarily absent in India. I mean, very few companies invest, understands, and go to the last mile in providing customer service. Sales is done, you have bought the product, that's it. Most of the companies would forget. There is no focus around customer service. But Maruti stood out, and that's how they started getting market share, and it has kept on building on it. The other players within the Indian passenger vehicle market who have grown substantially is Hyundai Motors. Hyundai has around 15 to 16% market share, and that's it. Rest, everybody else has less than 10% market share. I mean, somebody comes close to 9.5, 9.8, those being Mahindra and Mahindra, Tata Motors. The other players are Nissan, Renault, Volkswagen, but all of them have a market share of around 1% or 2%. But there is one player, Maruti Suzuki, who has this market share of more than 50% consistently for as many as years you can look in terms of historical market share numbers. We have Kia Motors, which has got in very recently, doing pretty well. But let's see. Now, what stood out for Maruti has been customer service. Having said that, doesn't Hyundai give customer service? Hyundai's customer service is very, very good. But I'll go back to a small incident which highlights about Maruti. This was around mid-90s. It just strikes me every time I speak around Maruti or whenever I study the Indian automobile market and the passenger car market, is this driver who was in an ambassador car of Hindustan Motors from the House of Builders. He said that, a normal question to him was like, why didn't you buy a Maruti? Would you like to get into a Maruti? And he said that no, because Maruti parts are expensive, number one. Two, it's difficult to find a Maruti mechanic who can fix anything which has gone wrong. Three, the Maruti service center is very far off. Like if there is one at point A, the next one at point B is very far off. And if my car gets stuck, it has a snag, it's a lot of stress, it's a long way to find out. So those three were the key areas, but definitely number one was the replacement parts of Maruti were expensive than that which was available for Ambassador. Very easily, all car mechanics were able to work on the Ambassador car, and parts were far more cheaper, like very, very cheap. I mean, if a particular part of an Ambassador car was 100 rupees, the same thing for Maruti in the mid-90s was around 500 or 600 bucks. So at least, even if it was not 5 times, in certain cases it was definitely double the price. So everybody would go for that. But then over the years, definitely Maruti understood customer service, and that was one biggest factor that stood out for Maruti and helped them to gain market share. And what has happened is that with that initial bit of success, they kept on reinvesting in product innovation. India is a very price sensitive market. Maruti's car gave very, very good mileage, very, very good mileage. First mover advantage, they came in, very good mileage, and customer service, which was completely absent. When I say completely absent, in the sense like it was hardly there, like dedicated mechanics, dedicated centers of Maruti servicing. So Maruti Suzuki did very, very well on that, and they have kept on with that legacy. Even after this 30 years, when it comes to your passenger car service, Maruti stands out. Post-sale service, customer service is something which has helped Maruti. Hyundai has gone into that space. They have around 15 to 16% market share. Their customer service is extremely good. That's what the market verdict is, and that's why they have been able to increase market share. People would like to pay for quality, but especially post-sale service in India, for any sector, for any company. Today we are talking about the passenger car market, the automobile sector in large, but it definitely stands out for all sectors in India. Post-sale service, customer service is very, very important, because if I am happy or if your customer is happy, the word of mouth keeps on spreading. I have known a lot of people in my neighborhood who have bought Maruti because Maruti cars are very economically priced, very good on mileage, very good on customer service. And as they have done well in their life, they went on to categories of higher class, of more expensive car. and they may have sold off Maruti cars that they have had. But if they are having 2 or 3 cars, they would always retain a Maruti. At the same point of time, the word of mouth, the goodwill that your existing customers keeps on saying, and especially when you go on to buy a car, it's a big, it's quite an expensive thing. And you tend to go around the market, ask a whole bunch of people, try to understand what are the pros and cons. You do deep analysis around it because it's your money. You're going to buy it. The company is there to sell, and they could just, and they'll just forget. They are selling hundreds of cars and they will just forget, one customer. But that is where the difference is. That is where the art of customer service comes in. That whether you're selling 100 unit or 1,000 unit or 1,000,000 unit, you treat each and every single customer with importance. You keep doing that, and it keeps building an ecosystem. The company culture gets into post-sale service. The company culture is we take care of every single customer, whether he has bought one product one time or he's a recurring customer, has multiple product multiple time. I treat each and every single customer of mine with importance. Any issues with post-sale service during the longevity of the product, as long as it is being used by my customer, I'm going to take very good care of it. I'm going to listen to my customer, inculcate that feedback, try to resolve his issues, try to resolve his difficulty. Goes a very, very long way. And today, in this very competitive, cutthroat passenger car market in India, that goodwill that Maruti has built with customer service and never forgetting its customer post sales has just given them this amazing spot of having more than 50% market share at the same price point and with same product functionalities from rest of all its competitor. So customer service. Thank you very much. Until the next video, take care.